A new report suggests that multiple women are reportedly planning to quit professional wrestling in favor of becoming an OnlyFans content creator. Marina Shafir details an uncomfortable gym encounter with a former male co-worker in AEW. Switchblade Jay White could be out of action for the remainder of 2025 through injury. WWE reportedly waived an arena clause to help TNA Wrestling's Bound for Glory pay-per-view later on this year. Details as to why Ring of Honor moved the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view event. Sonia Deville says she's retired for now from pro wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling honors Hulk Hogan at the G1 Climax 35 Night 6. Shane McMahon also pays tribute to the late WWE Hall of Famer. It's been revealed that Netflix were quietly working on a Hulk Hogan docuseries since 2024. Hulk Hogan's wife Sky releases a statement after the Hall of Famer's passing, and Alexa Bliss comments after being bloodied on WWE SmackDown. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with an interesting story when it comes to talent actually leaving and quitting professional wrestling to become a content creator on OnlyFans. Now, more female professional wrestlers are planning to quit the industry due to the amount of money they can make on OnlyFans. Mandy Rose has experienced considerable financial success producing exclusive content, something that she began to do while still signed with WWE and ultimately led to her release from the company. Rose noted earlier this year that she is making 10 times more than she made while signed to WWE. Another former WWE talent, Alayna Black, formerly known as Cora Jade in WWE NXT, set up her own OnlyFans page following her WWE release. Dave Meltzer has reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Black told people within pro wrestling that she made over the last month from exclusive content, and the amount was way more than any other women's wrestler in the industry. Meltzer further noted that some female wrestlers are already planning their exits from the industry to start OnlyFans pages, while others are aware the option to produce exclusive content is available to them. One person within pro wrestling familiar with the situation noted a path that will become more common will see women learn how to wrestle, build a fan base on television, and then set up an OnlyFans. Alayna Black, of course, announced this week she was taking a break from pro wrestling as it was no longer good for her mental health. So let me know your thoughts about this story in the comment section below. Now, Marina Shafir has detailed an uncomfortable gym encounter with a former male co-worker. Now, Jon Moxley's enforcer, the problem Marina Shafir, had an uncomfortable incident of her own with an unnamed former male co-worker that she spoke about with another former AEW star, Saraya. Shafir recently sat down on an episode of Rule Breakers with Saraya and described an incident in the gym where she had to step up after he allegedly shoved her. Shafir said she wasn't going to name names, but someone she used to work with got on a treadmill next to her and tried to copy her workout. She said the guy slipped on the machine, and at that point she decided to leave. Quote, I go into this other room to do my mobility, and I'm just leaning against the wall, and all of a sudden I get effing shoved from behind as I'm taking a sip of my water bottle, Shafir said. And it wasn't like a soft shove, it felt like I just got tackled. She said she turned around and he was standing over her, attempting to be playful, but she was uncomfortable. She said she didn't invite any of it and had her headphones on, minding her own business. I'm like, quote, all right, MFer, I got up, I stood southpaw just to F with him, she said. I faked an effing left, took a big step, and this effing hooked the F out of him, just raised his effing chin. Now, Shafir told Saraya that she stuffed 2 takedowns and avoided a double. She said the last thing she remembered telling him was to never touch her again. She said she was worried about the repercussions, despite being the one to defend herself. Things obviously appear to have worked out as Shafir continues to stand with Moxley and the Death Riders, despite Moxley losing the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to Hangman Adam Page in the main event of All in Texas. Now, it's not good news when it comes to Switchblade Jay White because he may miss more time than expected. Jay White has been out of action for the last several months with a hand injury that he sustained in a match against Kevin Knight. However, those that Fightful Select spoke to haven't heard that he's close to a return. In fact, they've heard quite the opposite. Now, according to Fightful Select, those that they've spoken to claim that Jay White had also been dealing with a shoulder injury. Sources in the company have said that White had been weighing whether or not to get shoulder surgery, though Fightful say they haven't heard if that decision has been made. If so, it's possible he'd miss the rest of the year. Of course, the Bang Bang Gang has been plagued with injuries and hasn't all been healthy at the same time for quite some time. Juice Robinson just returned after missing 7 months, and Colton Gunn was immediately sidelined. White was out of action also in the summer of 2024. Now, the relationship between WWE and TNA Wrestling is even deeper than first thought. Bound for Glory, of course, is TNA's marquee pay-per-view event each and every year, and the 2025 edition will be taking place on October 12th in Lowell, Massachusetts at the Songas Center. When it comes to the promotion for this event, WWE have lent reportedly a helping hand to their partner. WWE has a clause in place in all of their deals with arenas around the world that the venue is unable to promote or sell tickets to another wrestling event held there until WWE show is officially over, which is why AEW and the O2 Arena had to wait before announcing Forbidden Door 2025 in London, England, until WWE had finished up with an episode of Monday Night Raw. Per Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE has waived this clause for TNA. This is due to the fact that WWE has the Songas Arena booked on August 24th next month for NXT Heatwave, so TNA wouldn't have been able to announce Bound for Glory until after this show. This suggests that the relationship between WWE and TNA remains to be strong and, as described in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, quote, deeper than it even looks on television. The recent TNA Slammiversary event ended with both world titles held by WWE NXT talent, which did receive some backlash. Now, the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view has been moved around a little bit, and now we know as to why that has been the case. Now, Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor was initially scheduled to take place on July 11th before being moved to September 5th earlier this year. Last week, however, that September date was abandoned in favor of August 29th, and the reason for the latest move has now been revealed. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer has stated that the latest change of date was due to a personal commitment in the diary of Ring of Honor owner Tony Khan. According to Meltzer, Tony Khan had committed to attend a wedding on the previously announced September date. With Khan having, quote, never missed a TV, he wouldn't have been able to attend Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor had it taken place on the original substitute date of September 5th. Tony Khan has previously stated that he has creative control over his product, although he does converse with AEW stars on a regular basis. At the time of recording, no matches have been confirmed for Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, or the show will take place at the former ECW Arena, now known as the 2300 Arena, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sonia Deville is retired from pro wrestling, at least for now. Since exiting WWE in February, Sonia Deville has not wrestled a single match, stating that she has retired from the industry for now. Deville was released by the company whilst in the middle of contract negotiations as part of a wave of releases in early 2025, and during a recent interview with Chris Van Vliet on Insight, Deville indicated she was currently retired from the business. She said, quote, definitely for now, never say never, but right now I feel at peace with that. I'm not going to lie, and I haven't said this, but it almost is like an open wound, and if I think about wrestling somewhere else, it's like I was so loyal to the company, it was my only home from 21 years old to 31-year-old. I'm a ride or die kind of person in general, so it's weird to even think about doing that, but not there. She was signed with WWE in 2015 after an unsuccessful run as part of the season 6 of Tough Enough. In WWE as Deville, she stands out as a one-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, having held the titles with Chelsea Green in 2023, with Piper Niven eventually taking the place of the injured Deville during the title reign. Now, the tributes continue to the late WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan, beginning with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Before Night 6 of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 35 event, the promotion held a moment of silence for the late Hulk Hogan. New Japan President Hiroshi Tanahashi and former referee Taiga Hattori stood in the ring, with Hattori holding a photo of Hogan. The roster stood around the ring, and a 10-bow salute went off. Hogan first wrestled for New Japan in 1980 and competed for the promotion until 1985. He returned in the early 1990s and then again in 2003 for his final New Japan match facing Masahiro Chono. He won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in 1983, holding it for 378 days. Hattori said backstage, quote, he was definitely outstanding, more than your average wrestler. He was big in size, but I don't know. I think he was just a little different. He had such great success, so it's sad that he passed away so early, but I have a lot of respect for him as a professional wrestler. I bet he's up there again, wrestling in heaven. We've lost a truly wonderful person. I hope we'll see another wrestler like him. I want to say thank you for all the great times we had. And wasn't the only tribute to the late Hulk Hogan. Another one coming from Shane McMahon. McMahon on Friday quote tweeted his father Vince McMahon's statement on X and responded with a message of his own, thanking Hogan for everything he did, not only for WWE but also for the McMahon family. Quote, my dad could have not been more eloquent about what he wrote about the Hulkster. What a deep loss for us all. Hulk's legacy is truly immortal. Thank you, Terry, for everything that you did for both the McMahon and WWE family. We will all miss you. Godspeed, brother, he wrote. Now, it turns out that Netflix had actually been working on a project regarding Hulk Hogan. The passing of Hulk Hogan this week prompted a lot of tributes, reports, news, and more regarding the WWE Hall of Famer, with it being noted that WWE had sidelined several ongoing projects in order to work on Hogan-related things instead. Now, it has also emerged that Netflix had been quietly working on a project regarding Hulk Hogan ever since back in 2024. Matthew Baloney, a Hollywood insider, noted to Puck News that WWE, Hogan, and Netflix had been actively putting together a docuseries surrounding Hogan, with it being revealed that over 20 years worth of interview content had been filmed with Hogan alone. Quote, the Hulkster died mid-documentary. Hulk Hogan, who died today at 71, will be remembered for mainstreaming pro wrestling and bringing down Gawker. He also left behind an unfinished docuseries on his life that Netflix has been quietly working on since last year, per sources. Director Brian Storkel and producer Connor Shawsworth plus Pictures have been collaborating with WWE and Hogan on the multi-part series, which will include more than 20 hours of new interviews of Hogan that were shot before his passing. There's no release date yet. Now, we've also got a statement from Hulk Hogan's widow, that being Sky, regarding his health issues and his passing. Though Hulk Hogan was battling serious health issues before his death, his wife Sky Daly believed they would kick out and they would be able to spend more time together. Hogan, real name Terry Bollea, passed away of cardiac arrest on Thursday following weeks of rumours about his health, as he was dealing with complications following neck surgery. Those complications had him in and out of hospital, but Daly still believed that her husband would recover. Quote, I wasn't ready for this and my heart is in pieces, she wrote in an Instagram tribute. He had been dealing with some health issues, but I truly believed we would overcome them. I had so much faith in his strength, I thought we still had more time. This loss is sudden and impossible to process. To the world, he was a legend, but to me, he was my Terry, the man I loved, my partner, my heart. Now, Hogan and Daly, a yoga instructor, wed in 2023, with this being Hogan's third marriage. He is survived by his two children, Brooke and Nick, from his first marriage with Linda Hogan. And finally, Alexa Bliss says she's fine following a bit of an injury scare on SmackDown last night. On the July 25th edition of WWE Friday Night SmackDown, Alexa Bliss would compete in singles action, taking on the Judgment Day's Roxanne Perez. During the course of the match, Bliss would be busted open, leading fans to be concerned about Bliss's well-being. In the aftermath of this week's edition of WWE Friday Night SmackDown, Bliss would respond to a fan on social media, noting that she is completely fine after being busted open on the show. Despite her attempts to rally and a twisted Bliss to the outside in order to take out Raquel Rodriguez, Bliss would come up short in her singles match. Bliss is set to team with Charlotte Flair at WWE SummerSlam to compete for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, where the pair take on the Judgment Day. Of course, we will be live for both nights of SummerSlam next weekend. We're going to have a jam-packed week of streams. We're going to have watch-alongs for the SmackDown before SummerSlam and a post-show. The very next night, Night 1, SummerSlam Saturday, we'll be live for a watch-along and a post-show. On SummerSlam Sunday, we'll also be live for a watch-along and a post-show for that as well. And also, we'll then be live for the Raw after SummerSlam. So it's going to be a jam-packed night, 4 days worth of live streams with watch-alongs, post-shows, news stories, countdown shows as well. It's going to be excellent, so don't miss it. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. As always, that's your pro wrestling news, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.